Hello ladies and gentlemen, TX141 here, also known as Paul, bringing you another Ace in the Day gameplay for the arcade mode of War Thunder. In today's instalment, I'll be giving you a channel update for July of 2014. The gameplay you'll witness in the background is one in my F6F-3 Hellcat, a personal favourite plane of mine both in-game and historically. The setup I'm using in this ground strike gameplay on the map Spain is as follows. Omni-Purpose ammunition in the 6 12.7mm Browning machine guns, a gun convergence of 400 metres, and a fuel load of 30 minutes. To note, I decided to put a challenge to myself by fielding the F6F Hellcat in a rank 4 game, where the planes are of battle ratings 5.0 or higher, as you'll witness during the course of this game. Now, to get on with the channel update. A lot has happened since the previous channel update in April 2014, and a lot is still to come. For those of you who do not know, my hiatus from War Thunder and these reviews was due to the fact that I needed to concentrate on my final exams for university, of which those exams are now out of the way. I've graduated with a first, and so we move on. Keeping my personal life and YouTube separate and not entwined, the channel has also grown significantly in the space of the month. When I started coming back to YouTube as of, I believe it was the middle of June this year, I was on about 270, 280 subscribers, and you guys and girls were constantly asking me, when am I coming back, hope he comes back, and things along those lines. And I've not only surpassed 300 subscribers, I'm now at 315 or just over that, and I want to say thank you to all of you, whether you've been with me since the start or are just joining me now, for getting me to this milestone. I'm not doing YouTube as a career, I never intend to, I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing it because I love doing this. And I'm grateful for all the support that you've given me all the way through, and I hope that you continue giving that support as I try to take myself further and further into getting these arcade reviews done. Again, I can't thank you all enough. I mean, every comment I get, whether it's negative or bad, a smile always pops onto my face because I instantly know that I'm doing something right, or I can amend things to get them right for you. Additionally, the fact that nobody's yet sort of told me that I'm coming across as not arrogant, but as though trying to put across that my view is the only way of playing, that's exactly what I wanted to go for. I never want people to think that these videos are the definitive how-to. It's just my experience and my way of playing, and I will carry on doing this because I love doing this. And speaking of things I love doing, I love jostling with P-51 D5 Mustangs. Unfortunately, the dogfight ends prematurely simply because I believe the Mustang pilot might have thought that they've overshot and managed to get away. However, I punished them for their mistake and set them on fire, sealing what will be shortly my first kill. Additionally, a KI-102 decides to climb up, and so I punish them for their ignorance, or their relative ignorance as my presence, with my second kill. With the Herculean effort out of the way, let's return to the channel update. So I've gone into the two main milestones that have been reached or have occurred since the previous update video. So what is there to come? While I'll carry on doing the reviews, I intend to do at least one review every week, if not two. I've got a lot of planes that have been recommended for reviews, and as of now I'm focusing on the KI-61 Mark 1B, which I believe is the Otsu version with the 4 12.7mm machine guns, and additionally I will be reviewing the MC200 Series 3. I believe that's the name of the plane, correct me if I'm wrong. These two planes have been highly requested, and they're both planes I actually enjoy, especially the MC200, but that's a story for another time. In addition to doing all the reviews, I've had a number of requests fielded towards me to do a bit more realistic mode, and I will be bringing back War Thunder live. I should have an episode going up by the end of this coming weekend, if not sometime during the course of next week. Simply because getting these reviews back on track has been a little bit more time consuming than I expected. I've had to get myself back to grips with the game, but everything's going well, and excuses out of the way. The series will be coming back soon. Additionally, if you'd like to take part in the series, and if you've got an active Skype account, That would be brilliant, because that way we can all be on the chat, and I'm sure it'll be a right laugh. But anyway, what else is to come? And speaking of things to come, I really wish that my bullets had come onto the target of that A1. Unfortunately, I have to break away, and I didn't realise at the time that I decided to dive down on the enemy spawn. Fortunately, the Hellcat dives pretty well. Although if you want to see the full review of the F6F-3 Hellcat, please click the link in the top left corner of your screen as displayed now, and you'll witness it. I reckon it's an absolutely brilliant plane in all honesty. But anyway, before I get any more sidetracked, let's go back to what we were talking about. What else is there to come? Well, in addition to more War Thunder Live content and Realistic Battles content, I've been playing a bit of Ground Forces, but I'm not really going to bother with the Ground Forces videos at the moment. The only videos I'll put out are in terms of those where I play Realistic or Simulator mode, and that'll be War Thunder Live stuff. So, what I've also been suggested is that I bring out a set of sort of tutorial slash tips videos. Now, at first I was a bit dubious about doing this because I don't want to come across as the go-to guy for how to play the game. So what I was thinking was this. I'm happy on going through my setup and how I deal with certain situations. I'm not going to give you every insight into how I play, for the simple reason I don't want to give away all the secrets, and additionally I don't want to come across as though I'm telling you guys how to play rather than just giving you advice. So I'm going to be bringing out a series starting towards the end of this week called TX's Tips. Now, a bit of a corny name I know, but unfortunately I'm not very good in the English literature department, so we'll just have to agree to disagree on that title. Instead, what the series is going to involve, and speaking of involvement, my bullets are getting rather involved in this Corsair's rear end, shortly detonating them, achieving my third kill. What the series will involve is essentially I'll start off with my controls, and then I'll go into things such as the difference between turning with and without the rudder, how do I climb to such ridiculous heights in a very short period of time without exhausting the web. I know a number of you have actually requested me to tell you how to do that, and just things of that type, and also avoiding head-ons, because there are a number of approaches. I use a very particular approach, but there are other approaches to avoiding a head-on, a couple of which I've seen from other War Thunder players which are quite effective, although ones which I would not normally employ. Apart from that, that's really all that's to come at the moment. I will be bringing a little bit of World of Tanks stuff, and I know a lot of you at this point are putting your hands over your ears and saying, don't talk about the other game, don't talk about the other game. Of course, I'm only joking. I will be bringing a couple more World of Tanks videos. I will play World of Tanks occasionally, but I've done everything I wanted with World of Tanks now because I unlocked my MX 5120 and I've got it fully upgraded, and I had an absolutely brilliant game with my friend Zach where I got my mastery badge, and that was the final thing I wanted after getting my mastery in my T62, a game which I will also be showing. So really there's nothing else on the World of Tanks side. I will also be bringing a series, I'm not sure when it's coming, it's going to be called Learn to Fly, and essentially I've got a joystick set up, it's a HOTAS 10 I believe, and there'll be no dogfights involved, but I'm going to go into simulator settings for this game, or I might even do it in IL2. And I'm actually going to gradually learn how to fly with all the full controls and using the joystick and all that. It should be quite exciting. There'll probably be a lot of instances where I crash into the ground, or as I go to land, the landing gear comes off completely. But I'm sure it'll make for interesting and entertaining viewing. So, with the channel update out of the way, let's get back into the gameplay. Now with 3 kills in the bag, I'm getting a little bit apprehensive because I had, up until this gameplay, been struggling to get my desired target of an ace at this rank. I decided to converge on the back of an LA5FN, who was attacking my teammate in a head-on, and unfortunately I make the most of this weakness in order to achieve a critical hit. And the next burst of my machine gun ammunition taking out their engine and setting them on fire. With 4 kills now in the bag, I proceed to go after this P63, although I start to get worried about this Illusion 10, which is coming up incredibly fast behind me. And so what I decide to do is just dive away, simply because I know that while I may not have got on the back of that P63 at that point in the game, a lot of my teammates did go after that plane, and I could have got myself shot down. So instead, with all the speed I have, and the relative low altitude situation I'm in, I decide just to play it safe and play it on the edge. Because the problem with the Spain map I've noticed is that the spawns are quite close to the centre of the map, Now this isn't a complaint, it's just something I've spotted, and as a result that means that planes can charge into the fray quite quickly, especially if one team starts pushing the enemy team back into their spawn. By comparison with maps such as Top of the World, where the spawns are very distant and very separated from the centre of the map. Anyway, map analysis out of the way, I decided to get some altitude and head up into the cloud layer, because what I noticed, as you may have noticed on your screen, is that there's an I-185 and there will be a Focke-Wulf 190 A5 I believe, that are both gradually coming up towards me. And now these planes are superior to myself in pretty much every regard minus turn circle. What I decided to do is open fire on the I-185 and then break up into an incredibly sharp climb angle. Because what I know is while the I-185 can beat me in terms of climb, they'll lose a lot of their engine power as they're trying to go into the climb, especially following me at these sharp angles. Keeping on different flight paths in order to make sure my opponent can't get a clear shot, I open fire very briefly at the I-185 and then I go for the Focke-Wulf, because I know the Focke-Wulf's actually the dangerous target. I take out their rudder, achieving a critical hit, although unfortunately this is not enough to grant me a kill, as you're going to see the Focke-Wulf does eventually break away. And it's a shame, I was really hopeful to actually get that Focke-Wulf kill because I thought I had a clean shot. Still, some days you get it right, some days you get it wrong, and some days you're just not lucky. As I gradually try and make my distance from the pair of planes that came up to chase me, the Focke-Wulf breaks off for repair. Meanwhile the I-185 hasn't had enough of me. And so what I decide to do at this point is actually split S down and stay as low as possible to the ground, because I'm hoping that the I-185 pilot will not be as confident with their plane down low. This soon pays off as I cut up, having gone under their line of fire, and I break round behind them. As they gradually break away, I give it all with the guns. And just at the cusp of range, at 0.77 kilometres, I managed to set their fuel tank on fire. At which point I'm hoping that the I-185 will go down to the ground, although a friendly Hurricane Mark II soon sorts that out, unfortunately. Still, I'm rewarded in the face of this Typhoon Mark 1B that flies over our airfield, and I quickly take them out, setting them on fire and securing my 5th and final kill for this game, making it an ace in a day with a Hellcat in a rank 4 game. And additionally I get the assist on that I-185, giving me 5 plus a half. It's at this point that I'm actually rejoicing quite a bit, and I was thinking to myself, well, perhaps I'll just stay to the fringes of the map for the rest of the game, seeing as it is quite into its adolescence, and there'll probably be little I can do. As I said, this gameplay is not to show off anything in terms of how well I play by comparison to others. This was a challenge I wanted to set myself, because I did quite a significant challenge for the previous update video, but I wanted to take this one step further. And for those of you saying, well, now you're going to take the Hellcat into a game with jets, i.e. rank 5 planes, no. And that's the end of that. Although I might do one day, depending on how crazy I'm feeling. So that being said, unfortunately I will have to retire the Hellcat from my American lineup soon. I am going to focus on flying the, I believe it's the F6F Bearcat for a little bit, and additionally just try and make my way to that F6F-1B Bearcat with the 4 20mm AN/M3 cannons. But really, other than that, I'm also going to spend a bit more time with the Japanese, because I feel as though I've neglected the Japanese in terms of my reviews. Especially seeing as I'm just on the cusp of unlocking my Ki-61 Hein, which is the 3rd and final Ki-61. Still, with the game over and a Punisher medal earned, it's time to review some stats. So in review, we can see that we managed to gain 5 kills and 1 assist, which netted us 21,500 silver lions. Additionally, we earned 1,430 research points, although only 40% of that, in the form of 572 research points, actually go to the F6F-1B Bearcat's research. Still, that was a thoroughly enjoyable game, and I thought it was worthwhile putting in the background of this channel update. Again, it just iterates how well the Hellcat can handle itself against foes of its own rating, and additionally foes well above its rating. It's a plane which really will reward the pilot who spends a lot of time getting to know the ins and outs of a plane. Although that's the same with most fighters, in all honesty, that the more time you spend with it, the more you learn about its strengths and weaknesses, and the more proficiently you can perform in any given game or setup. Of course, there will be situations where you're simply outclassed. For example, chasing B-17s in a Hellcat is not something I'd recommend. We'll shortly look at the player statistics and note that while we did not have the top score, we came 5th, which I think is a very good score by comparison with what our teammates may have fielded. But anyway, challenge out the way, channel update complete, and mission accomplished. I've been TX141, and if you've enjoyed this video, and you've enjoyed all the videos I've put out on my channel so far, why not leave a like, comment, or subscribe for future content on my channel. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care and good luck in the skies. And I just want to say one last time, thank you for everything you guys and girls have given me so far. You're the best.